Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on different denominators, part 2. This video continues to show how to solve more advanced addition and subtraction of fractions with different denominators. Let's look at this example to illustrate. A half plus a third. Notice we have different denominators. Remember, before adding the above fractions, we must make the denominators the same. That is, the denominator for this fraction and for this fraction must be the same. What denominator will we use? The answer? The LCM of 2 and 3. The LCM of 2 and 3 is the lowest number that 2 and 3 will divide into evenly. That number is 6. Now, a very basic knowledge of tables tells us that 2 divides into 6 evenly, 3 divides into 6 evenly, and that's the lowest number. So here we have a half plus a third. We need to make that a 6. How do we do that? We multiply by 3, because 2 3s are 6. We must also multiply the numerator by 3 to keep the value of the fraction the same. How do we make this a 6? We multiply it by 2. We must also multiply the numerator by 2 to keep the value of the fraction the same. So we have 1 times 3 over 2 times 3. Notice we've multiplied by 3 over 3. That keeps the value of the fraction the same. And in a similar fashion, we have 1 times 2 over 3 times 2. That calculation gives you 3 over 6. That calculation gives you 2 over 6. A half is equivalent to 3 over 6. They have the same value. A third is equivalent to 2 over 6. And the good news, the denominators are the same. Adding those two fractions together, 3 plus 2 is 5. The answer is 5 over 6. Now note, the lesson on LCM is contained on my channel in this playlist. It is lesson 5. So if you go to my channel, you'll have a playlist there which is called Year 7 Lessons. Right, Year 7 Lessons, and it is lesson 5. That's if you need a refresher course on lowest common multiple. The next example, for each of the following, find the common denominator for each fraction before proceeding. 2 over 3 plus 4 over 5. Notice the denominators are different. We need to make them the same. The LCM of 3 and 5 is 15. That is, 15 is the lowest number that 3 and 5 will divide into evenly. A basic knowledge of tables tells us that. So the LCM of 3 and 5 is 15. So how do we make this 3 a 15? Multiply it by 5 and do the same for the numerator. How do we make the 5 a 15? Multiply it by 3 and do the same for the numerator. That calculation gives us 10 over 15. That calculation gives us 12 over 15. Both denominators are the same. 10 over 15 plus 12 over 15 gives us 22 over 15. 10 plus 12 is 22. To change this improper fraction to a mixed number or a mixed fraction, 15 into 22 goes once, a remainder of 7, 1 and 7/15. Next example, so we have a mixture of addition and subtraction. We have 2, 3 and 4 as the different denominators. The LCM of 2, 3 and 4 is 12. So 2, 3 and 4 will divide into 12 evenly, and that's the lowest number. That's very easy to see. So 12 is the denominator we're after. How do we make this a 12? Multiply it by 6 and do the same for the numerator. How do we make this 12? Multiply by 4 and do the same with the numerator. How do we make this 12? Multiply by 3 and do the same with the numerator. That fraction simplifies to 6 over 12. That fraction simplifies to 4 over 12. And that fraction simplifies to 3 over 12. 6 over 12 plus 4 over 12 is 10 over 12 minus 3 over 12. 10 minus 3 gives us 7. So the answer is 7 over 12. So this video has shown us a straightforward process for adding or subtracting fractions that have different denominators. The important thing is to find the common denominator, and it will be the lowest common multiple of the denominators in the sum. In the original sum, if there are 2, 3 or more denominators, it will be the lowest common multiple of those denominators.